a locker room. Adrenaline still running through the air. And then, one sentence that would blow up the entire sport within hours: they don't want me to be a champion. No name attached yet. No context. Just a man, hours after the biggest points lead of his career, saying something was taken from him. That line alone is enough to stop you scrolling, because whoever said it wasn't speaking in anger about a bad finish. He was speaking about something far bigger. That man is Denny Hamlin, and he said it on his own podcast, Actions Detrimental. Before we get to why he said it, you need to understand exactly what he was sitting on. 4 wins this season. A 68-point lead in the standings. And an average finish of 3.64 on non-drafting ovals, a number that hadn't been touched since Richard Petty in 1977. This is a driver 21 seasons into his career with 0 championships, putting together what may be the best statistical season anyone has produced in decades. And then comes the gut punch: he didn't even win the race that triggered all of this. What happened after the checkered flag mattered more than the race itself. Before we go further, if you're new here, this channel is NASCAR Racing World, and we're closing in on 500 subscribers. If breakdowns like this are the kind of racing coverage you want more of, hitting subscribe, dropping a like, and sharing this with another NASCAR fan genuinely helps this channel grow. Your support directly decides whether we can keep bringing this level of detail every single race weekend. Now, back to the story, because the race itself needs to be understood before the real controversy makes sense. The location was North Wilkesboro Speedway, hosting its first points-paying Cup Series race since 1996, after years of only holding the exhibition All-Star race. Joey Logano won that night, snapping what NASCAR's own account described as a 45-race winless stretch. From Logano's side, the story was simple: total control, a comfortable evening, a race that was effectively decided on a single restart and clean track position. Hamlin's version of the same night looks nothing like that. He described being one single pit stop away from stealing the win, watching his window shrink as the gap closed, in agonizing increments. And then came the moment that made the whole exchange feel different from every past clash between these two drivers. Hamlin admitted, plainly, that Logano's car was simply better that night. In his own words, "We were just second best." No excuses, no complaints about the racing itself. Considering the history between these two, physical, heated moments at Bristol in 2013 and Martinsville in 2019, this time it ended with something almost strange: a quiet handshake on pit road. No confrontation. No theatrics. Just two competitors accepting the result. That calm is exactly what makes what came next so jarring. Because the real story wasn't the race. It was the announcement that followed it. NASCAR confirmed it is scrapping the elimination-style playoff format entirely and returning to a chase-style, 10-race cumulative point system, with the champion decided at Homestead. Under the new structure, a race win is worth 55 points, and a full sweep, stage wins plus the race win, caps at 76 points. The top 16 drivers make the postseason, but here's the part that changes everything: they start staggered, and the points leader begins the chase with only a 25-point cushion over the rest of the field. That's not the detail that set Hamlin off, though. The real trigger was this: the regular season championship is being eliminated. Under the new format, whichever driver finishes first after the regular season no longer receives a championship trophy or any official recognition. He simply gets a slightly better starting position heading into the chase. Now that opening line makes sense. Hamlin wasn't reacting to a rule change in the abstract. He was reacting to the fact that this is the one season he actually led the regular season, and NASCAR chose this exact year to remove the recognition for it. In his words, the one time you win the regular season, they get rid of it. He went further on his own show, telling co-host Jared Allen that according to the press release for the new chase format, both the regular season and the old-style playoffs are gone entirely, meaning there is no longer a regular season champion at all. Jared Allen's reaction was blunt. He called it the stupidest thing I've ever heard. NASCAR didn't stay silent for long. Mike Ford, NASCAR's managing director of racing communications, addressed the change directly on the show Hauler Talk. His explanation framed the shift as simplification, removing terms like playoff, elimination, and as seeding altogether, replacing them with the idea of one continuous season-long championship, where the points leader simply becomes the number one seed heading into the chase. It's a clean, procedural explanation. But set next to Hamlin's reaction, the disconnect is obvious. To NASCAR, this is a rulebook adjustment. To Hamlin, it's the erasure of the best season of his career. This isn't just a Hamlin problem, either, it's splitting opinion across the entire garage. Kevin Harvick had already proposed his own fix earlier this year, that the regular season champion should receive an automatic spot in the championship four. Hamlin's own reaction to that idea at the time was short and telling, not terrible. That matters, because it shows Hamlin had already been thinking about exactly this issue before it personally cost him recognition, which is part of why this feels less like a passing complaint and more like something he's genuinely frustrated by. Mark Martin has been one of the most consistent critics of the modern playoff era, and this reignited that fight publicly. He clashed directly with NASCAR insider Danielle Trotta, who defended the new approach. Martin's response was direct, "No, we don't." Fans weren't quiet either. Reactions to NASCAR's own anniversary posts online called the current era awful, with many saying the sport's struggles were self-inflicted. The divide is clear. Some fans believe rewarding a hot streak late in the season creates better drama. Others believe it strips meaning from 26 races just to manufacture tension at the end. The numbers make this personal in a very specific way. The moment the postseason resets, Hamlin loses roughly two-thirds of his hard-earned lead, dropping from 68 points down to just 25. Layer that on top of the bigger picture, this is his 21st full-time season, still without a title, and there's been reporting suggesting 2027 could be his final full year at Joe Gibbs Racing. Worth noting clearly, that part is speculation, not confirmed. What makes it sting is the timing. The best statistical season of his career is happening in the exact year the sport decided to stop rewarding it the way it used to. So where does this leave things? On one side, Logano's calm, controlled win. On the other, Hamlin's near miss and his sense that something was taken from him. NASCAR calls it simplification. Hamlin calls it personal. The garage is split, the fans are split, and nobody in charge has actually answered the one question this entire story keeps circling back to: was this really just about cleaning up the format, or did the timing just happen to erase the one thing Denny Hamlin had never won? Drop your take in the comments. Was NASCAR right to scrap the regular season title, or did they take something away from Hamlin at the worst possible moment? If you found this breakdown useful, share it with a fellow NASCAR fan, hit that subscribe button, and help us reach 500 subscribers here at NASCAR Racing World. If you enjoy real NASCAR breakdowns like this, you'll like what's coming next.